All right, the last thing we wanted to share with you is kind of a fun game that I'll go through all the details, and it's something that I'm sending to you. Before I do that, I want to talk about, you're going to find alfalfa seeds, so this is when we talk about producers and consumers. This is just a little project that the kids absolutely enjoy seeing their alfalfa seeds start to sprout. They could actually eat these seeds, but it's just fun for them to experiment with them. All the information again is in that form that I'm sending you about how to sterilize the jar, how to keep the things wet, how to check on them, and not have stagnant water in there that's going to hurt your seeds. So a great project for them to see. It's such a wonderful mystery to see something grow from seed into plant. And you can just talk about how that works and how the function of a producer works and the importance of all these producers in an ecosystem, how crucial they are to everything that goes up in that pyramid. So you'll see a bag of alfalfa seeds. You're going to see that you're going to be getting some pipe cleaners. And if you do smoke a pipe, you're welcome to use them for that. But if you want to use it for a game, you can create these little squares. These squares are meant to be owls. Okay, so you're going to make like one set would be female owls, another set would be male owls. You're going to map out an area, a large area that would be 4 foot square, somewhere outside, perhaps would be a great place right now. And you have, students have different responsibilities. One would be a counter, a bean counter. So in that 4 by 4 foot square, you're going to have the bean counter just scatter beans around that 4 by 4 square. And the responsibility of the bean counter, as I go through this game, you'll see, is to keep track of how many beans are taken and how many of the owls who will trap those beans. Those beans are supposed to be mice. So how many mice did that owl get in that one try? The owls have 2 feeding times, so the male will go twice and the female will go twice. And the recorder keeps the data of how many mice were eaten and whether the male and the female, how many they got with each turn. The male and female owls will stand about a foot away from that 4 by 4 foot square, and they'll toss that. So at first they're going to get the mice that they need to survive, but pretty soon they're not going to be able to get those mice. And that's this whole idea of you're teaching them carrying capacity, how many organisms can live in a particular ecosystem, and what factors limit how many of those organisms can stay in that system. So the thing, and again, you're going to get this, the owls must eat 4 mice in 3 days. They have to survive, they have to eat 4 mice in 3 days. And so you're going to be trying to keep your mice alive, and you're going to keep a data chart, and you're also going to, here's your math, you're also going to graph that data. Then you start another investigation. So you get your data, you discuss your data, you understand why did they die out, what do you think happened, because we were not keeping the mice going, which would be a normal thing, that mice would still be there. And that might be another investigation that you keep, is to have so many mice added to your playing field. A second investigation is some kind of an ecosystem problem, like the drought. So instead of starting out with 85 mice, you're only going to start out with 60 mice. And then you collect your data, you graph your data, you compare both of those data. So you see how that addition of some kind of a catastrophe, an ecosystem catastrophe, could be a fire, a drought, that kind of flood, can cause a change in carrying capacity and by limiting your factors. The last investigation would be this idea of a black snake or a garter snake comes into that community, and before the owls get a chance to eat at each round, the garter snakes takes 5 mice. And so so you have this, your playing field changes at the start of every round, and you end up having fewer and fewer mice for the owls to catch. So it's a great illustration and a fun time for the kids to be able to understand what limiting factors and how they cause population changes in an ecosystem. I'm sure that many of you, and I'm including that in this document as well, are aware of Oh Deer game. And so again, that is could be a math integrated lesson, because you could be graphing that and having different investigations. I know we'll first go through it one time, and then we'll add maybe a predator into the game board, so that we see different dynamics and how that limits the availability of food in an ecosystem and how it changes the population. I really hope that you've enjoyed all the activities that we have set aside for you. Roper Mountain Science Plus has done a wonderful job in organizing and making all this material available to us. I hope that you'll consider keeping an eye open for activities and videos that will be available. That is the plan to help you in the classroom, and that is Plus's vision, is to make your classroom alive with science. So I hope that we've been able to do that in a little way in ecosystems.